Evening and welcome to day 41 of 100 Days of Sewing. My name is Catherine Wilson from Queenie Quilts. I am your host, and today we are talking about jelly rolls and different ways to use them in quilts. So I have lots of examples here of different types of rolls. So these for Maywood Studios by E.E. Schenk. I've got some RJR ones. I've got some Valley Pops from Hoffman. I've got some, I don't actually know what these, strip tease packs. That's what Island Boutique calls theirs. And then I have some randomly cut ones. So for years, I belonged to Strip Club at Cozy Quilt, which is now Cozy Creative Center. But and before jelly rolls were jelly rolls, they did Strip Club. And when it started, before jelly rolls actually were a thing, they did 50 in a pack. So I have several of these. So these are very old because these are pre-jelly rolls, and jelly rolls have been around for, I think, a decade. So I have Christmas, I have, you name it pretty much, I have it. More Christmas. I have ones that I've scrounged from. So this was obviously a black and white one that it looks like I've pulled out all the mediums. Another Valley Pop. A baby colored one that I appear to have taken out a whole bunch of stuff. I have two half ones. So these are half of a jelly roll. Actually, it's a little different. These are the ones from Timeless Treasures that are Quiltworks related. So they have 6 sets of 8 fabrics. So they are actually 48 strips rather than 40 in your standard jelly roll. So, but I have just one half of one and another copy of the same half. So obviously I like the other 3 sets in these. I have these left. So these are the things we're going to work on this week. So this is sort of a gather all your parts and pieces. I wonder if this one is the same. No, this one appears to be a gray and black one, as opposed to a black and white one. One that's all brights. So basically over the next few weeks, I'm going to release a set of patterns that are jelly roll based, that use nothing but the 2.5-inch strips. And maybe some stuff from your stash. But they're designed primarily for you to get familiar with your machine. So how does it work? What does it look like? How do I find my 1/4 inch? So they're patterns that don't really have any magic measurements. Nothing needs to match. Nothing needs to connect with something else. So no one's going to be able to tell if they're not sewn perfectly, if they're not straight, any of that kind of stuff. So we're going to be using these for these first couple of projects just as a way to really become familiar with how things respond under your machine. But one of the things I want to talk about today is the ways that jelly rolls are cut. So they can be cut a couple of different ways: with a laser, by hand, or on a large pneumatic machine that has a blade. But really what we want to talk about is not the machines or how they cut them, but what the expectation is in terms of size. Because what is important here is that you're using the same format. It doesn't really matter in these quilts which ones you choose, but they need to be the same if you're using multiples. So these Hoffman Valley Pops are straight cut, meaning they don't have any pinking on the sides. So completely straight. And they're 2.5 inches wide. So you're pretty secure in their size. But ones like these that are pinked on the edges, they can be a little confusing. Some of them are valley to valley, which means the bottom of the pinking, the inside to the inside, on the other side is 2.5 inches. They can also be peak to peak, which means from the top end of the mountain to the top end of the mountain on the other side is 2.5 inches. as a result, if you mix a peak to peak and a valley to valley, they're not going to be the same size. And that's going to create some problems for you in creating straight quilts. So for this project, this first one, I'm going to be using a straight cut strip because our primary function is going to be to find that 1/4 inch sweet spot on your machine. Make sure you know where it is. And also to finish something pretty quickly so that you have some accomplishment. So at least for this first project, I don't know which one we're going to use yet. I've got to kind of map that out today, this afternoon, before I actually record that video tomorrow. But we'll use one of these ones that are straight cut. So that's really your job for today, is to gather all your pre-cuts. And it doesn't really matter for this project whether they go together, they're planned to go together, any of that kind of stuff, because we're really just going to be playing, learning our machine, having a little bit of fun, and making something that we can be proud of. So that's it for today. I'll see you back here tomorrow for day 42. We'll see which one we're going to work on. All right, I'll see you then.